Welcome back, and we're going to do a quick roundup for March. So this will be a quick run through of everything that we've built in last month and the recent stuff for this week. So this will catch you up. So let's get into it. First of all, I just want to say welcome everybody who joined on to the new Discord. So there's not much there at the moment, but you obviously get the video release feed, which is the ones from the main channel. And then we get an AI signal feed where I'm just going to post up anything of interest that comes into my inbox. So anything I see of interest is just going to go chuck in here. There's going to be a few interesting sites you might want to check out, like this is for lip syncing, this is for video generation. Inside line is going to be like the stuff I haven't made a video on yet, but if you want to check it out first, there'll be early links in here. So like at the moment, I was introducing Neuralink. We're going to be checking him out, his work on openart.ai. He does some good workflows. See, currently I want to take a look at an SDXL model that was made for 8-step Lightning Lora, but you don't have to use it that way and you still get amazing images. So let's get into the workflows. So if you come onto Civit, you can find my account, Drift Johnson. The first one was the Virgil, which is SDV, that's Stable Diffusion 1.1 XT. So this is the Stable Diffusion video, text to video, or no, image to video. That's right. And it's the Stable Diffusion release 1.1. It has built-in FreeU, 2-pass upscale, it uses Rife and film, so there's a lot of stuff. You can get a decent-sized video out of it. Like I say, I haven't had a chance to put my best examples up. I will get around to that. I was just trying to keep everything up to date for everybody. And then Odinson is basically SDXL animated diff. Like I said, I haven't had time to get good examples out of it. I was just using my Zenkai Lora for the Assassin Carb style to see if I could get my style running through me standing there doing whatever, talking, actually. Did I do any other examples? Kinda. Okay, so that's got open pose, various, you can change your ControlNet vid to vid, so you could put a video in and then choose how many frames. I think I put full examples of how to use it. So all the information is there of what you need to do to get videos out. You could probably find better settings. Like I said, it's just the default animated diff setup with, explanation, how to get all the right models and whatnot. So these are all explained here. It's this combination that will work with the SDXL beta checkpoint. Okay, moving on, we have Argus. Now, Argus got a bit crazy. Argus is the stable Cascade workflows. So I want to explain what's going on. So V10 was the first one we made, I think. Then 12 through 18 are all using the diffusers. Now, a lot of people are still using these. So they're actually for like smaller cards that want to run Cascade. The checkpoint methods were too big to fit on smaller cards for some reason. Some people could make it work, other people couldn't. It was a bit of a weird one. So some people are still using the early models, which still work fine. There's nothing wrong with them. And the modifications I made to create these, putting in the Lora loader, putting in the Canny setup, that can all be done with these ones. Okay. All right. I don't know if the vision works. You probably have to load the vision separately, but we'll do videos on, how can I build stuff I want to build rather than just giving you all of these. I want to give solid examples. It's like face swap is just, this is the same with the Lora loader, with the face swap, it's just adding one node. So in future, I won't be releasing thousands of workflows. I'll just release a base and then I'll explain how you can add this, add that. And then you can do it yourself because it's very easy. But yeah, we released all of the Canny models, not Canny models, Canny versions, text to image, image to image, text to vision, image to remix, image to face swap, anyone Canny, and then image to vision. So it's all just getting closer and closer to the perfect image. So here I have it on quite a low denoise. Here I have it on quite a high denoise with the cosXL Cascade, which we'll have a look at in the next section. So going on, we have Hydra. Because you have an image to image with Cascade, what I can do is I can put the normal whatever workflow you want and then paste the stable Cascade image to image to the bottom. So then where you take your output from whatever workflow you want with any model you want, take the image and just attach it to the input for the image to image. Sometimes you've got a prompt you need to set, so you can just type the same thing or drag the text in. We're going to cover all this stuff in future because I think that's going to be more important than just, like I said, handing out workflows. We'll just go into how to make simple modifications because it's much easier that way. But what I've done is I've made pre-built examples for people to look at and then, see what I've done. So essentially we've got SDXL, which has got separate prompts. Full control just means it's got separate prompts for everything. So you can type everything, yeah. And then SDXL with ControlNet, SDXL 2.1 and 1.5. So you want to take your 1.5 model and then just pipe the image into image to image. You affect the denoise and it's going to be less or more like the original. So you can get the output from Cascade and approximate what it would have looked like if you had trained it. So it's like a proxy, I guess, using an image bridge. That was the idea anyway. So that's all of the new workflows at the moment. Now we'll move on to the models. So Assassin Carb was also an interesting Lora. We did a bunch of studies. That was the last video. So we looked at, these are all of the outputs. These are all of the results from the study. So that what they actually are is indicated. I think I've listed them in here. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's all noted here as well, what they actually are. And then links to the data set. We'll look at that in a minute. The model page, which we're on. The article, which doesn't have a link for some reason. The video does, though. And there's a video here. But yeah, basically, this was a big, deep training study. There's a Figma document here as well, which you can go into, which is pretty in-depth, showing all of the results of the training session. Okay, so... And there will be another one going up soon called the Crew. Okay, which is the next one, which I'll briefly cover at the end of this video. So then we have the Assassin Carb SDXL retrain. So what we've done here is we've basically taken the model and retrained it using the new Prodigy optimizer. It's building on the last lesson, basically. Like, the idea is we walk down a path and hopefully by the end of it, people have learned something helpful. And again, that points to the data set, which we're talking about. It's the same data set for both. Okay. And then obviously we've rendered the images in different ways. I think these were made with a lot of vision. And image to image, maybe. Probably Canny, actually, because I was just messing around with Canny. All right. So the articles section has a lot of information in it. So I've been writing articles on Civit periodically, usually when a new system comes out. So this is my stuff. That was when SDXL came out. We did a brief crash course to get people started with Comfy. The next episode will cover doing simple mods like adding in, how do I add a Lora? Where do I put it? Where? Why? All that kind of stuff. And then we'll go, then we did a stable Cascade came out. So we were doing it in Colab first because it was the quickest place to implement the code. Eventually we got Comfy support. We've also got the how to make music with Audacity AI. That's still up. And then obviously an explanation for Hydra. That was the image bridge from any model to Cascade. And then stable Cascade basic workflow Argus. This is the explainer for the Argus workflow, which was the first stable Cascade one we looked at. And then I did the Lora training study with one trainer. So that was the last episode, last video. I've done a new article on video generation. It'd be nice if people could suggest services, but it seems like I'm just going to add the ones I found. Okay. So there we go. You come onto my GitHub, and you'll see that the new Decree dataset is up, and the old one is also there. So you can take a look at that, train it yourself, see if you can get the same results. And then finally, because you've been here for the whole time, this is a preview. So basically, it's not really fair to compare Excel and Cascade. As I was doing the study, I found that they both have their own things going on. So there'll be a link to this document in the description of the video. But here is the data set. Okay, it's Decree from like the 17th century. There he is. And it does have captions. So what I was looking at was training with just the word Decree, and then training with proper captions that actually describe, man with the red jacket, yawning, stuff like that. And the top run above final phase, this was XL. It says here, it's SDXL, Cascade. This is 32.1, this is 64.1. That's the only difference. So it was really interesting to see the difference. I think what I did with the top line was I misspelt the token. I think I used Devro with a V instead of Decree with a C. Just to see, and typically you're not getting anything, nothing's been learned at this stage. But then as we approach, suddenly there's Decree. But the weird thing is, it was better with just the class than the full captions. Oh, sorry. Because this is just with training one word. With just training one word, misspelling it that's more accurate to the data set than this. It's very strange. And we kind of got the style here. And if I just kind of keep going, you'll see what I mean. We get closer to the style until we get to here. And again, bang, there he is. It's almost like, it's weird. See, I've typed Devre instead of Decree. And I don't know, I just thought it was quite interesting that at the points where I would have picked the best epochs for early and late, if I misspell there he is, he jumps out at me if I misspell it slightly. It's just a weird thing. But anyway, I did the same thing with Cascade, and it just totally So here is what we would get without any training, pretty much, with very little training. And it starts to turn into something like Decree here. But the misspelling with Cascade completely causes madness. And things get better and they get worse. Like, that's okay. This is starting to, and this is where it got really bad. And then I just sort of pushed, did I push through? No, it just exploded. So, and then with the 64, it was a similar story. We get close, but it's not really. It's not really learned it yet. Here, it's definitely learned it, but we're getting some aspect ratio stuff going on. It's interesting how this misspelt token kind of gives you a big yes. But yeah, once you actually look at that is the same style. Like, for one thing, Cascade learns the style really well. At the early, it's not so impressive. It's a bit generic. But that is very much like the actual style that we're trying to train. So for the second lot, I've included the learning the smooth loss from one trainer. And we're comparing 32.1, 32.1. I don't think I did do 64.1, even though it was terrible. So I'm definitely sticking to rank 32 for these small data sets. I think the number of images was 12. So similar to the carb data set in size. So I picked this row here as early. You can take a look at these in detail in your own time. And then this one for the late. It was difficult with the XL though, because it wasn't really apparent that it wasn't really that different from when it was untrained, no matter how. So I might have to revisit the settings for XL. But it trained better with a class token. Kind of weird. All right. And then we do a look at, and this is just spectacular, actually. Cascade did such an amazing job of understanding the world of Decree. So up here, that's nailed. Some of these are really good. And the most difficult thing, I had to put it in 16:9 as well, because it was just clearly giving better images. I went with the early here, but as we go on, it gets more oil painting style is what I'd call it. And we get some strange behavior happening as well. We go from it being really good at understanding, because we've actually trained shocked and waving, smiling and pointing, gesture, be quiet pose, surprised and waving, yawning and stretching, question, but this time with a white wig and jacket. The other time he's wearing a hat and jacket. Should have said red jacket there. Anyway. Oh, no, wait, not there, here. Yeah. So we've got we're mixing up a little bit, and there are examples of each thing we're prompting in the data set. And like I said, some of them were really good. So, like I said, I'm happy that it's learning. Only thing is, it gets a bit squirrely, because look at the 64. So at the 32, it clearly learned the poses, I guess you could say. But then with this, it's just kind of gone and done its own thing. It's almost like no matter what you type on this one, you just get two guys. It's very strange. I've not seen this kind of thing before, where no matter what you prompt, you just get the same image for each epoch. So it's like each epoch, it's changing the image. All I did was change it to rank 64. So it's a very strange behavior, because I'm changing the prompt for each line, but it looks like I've got the same prompt coming down this way. So like I said, that was a bit strange. I guess that threw me through a loop a little bit, because I was thinking, well, why the hell? Anyway, I did train it for 48 up to 4, but it's just more of the same. And then we come on to the image-to-image test to see if the early is still better than the late. That's all. And to be honest, with SDXL, I don't think the same thing is happening. I think it's just better with the late. And then with Cascade on the 32, we're getting a blend from the original image through. And this wasn't using Canny either. This is just image to image. Increasing the denoise each time. Using different epochs. And I don't know. It's difficult. Like I said, it's difficult to judge this sort of thing. It's kind of subjective. I find that the earlies are generally more elastic, but the lates, so they are more accurate to what I'm trying to teach it, but they're more likely to explode. They seem unstable, The 64 did not work. Look, see, it's like what happened. something went wrong with the 64 training. I mean, it's not like there. See, that's actually because that's the Decreur shocked face. But then for the full train look, it didn't understand because there's no examples of women. It's only Decreur. So if you say a woman Decreur style, if it's overtrained, it'll start making her look manly. But if it's undertrained, it's more pliable, and then you get like the style. But yeah, that's basically what we're looking at. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the rest was a bit of a mess. This is where I was like, because I was trying to compare it like for like, but you just don't. It doesn't look good. So I just thought, well, that was fun. We'll release the Decreur model soon. And that's pretty much all I've got. I got a couple more things coming out soon, but they're not quite finished yet. So look forward to those. I'll see you in the next one.